Hi, I'm a homosexual. In fact, when I was a kid, we didn't hear the word homosexual very often, except in clinical terms, maybe at a doctor's office. And when I was growing up, the term we liked to use was gay. We're all a part of the gay community, and I am a proud member of that community. A few years after I came out of the closet, I was 19 years old, I heard people in our community who said, wait a second, I'm a woman, I like other women, I'm a lesbian, I'm not part of the gay community. And we used to refer to everybody as gay men and gay women. They said they're lesbians and they wanted to be identified separately. And we should refer to our community, in that case, as the gay and lesbian community. And then a few years later, someone came along and said, hold on just a second. We should put these ladies first, and we should refer to ourselves as the lesbian and gay community. That's really the right thing to do. So our community was known as lesbian and gay until a few years later, when someone came along and said, hold on just a second here. I'm a bisexual. I like men and I like women. So I think our community should really be referred to as the lesbian, gay, and bisexual community, which it was for a few years, until a transgender person came along and said, hold on, wait a second. I'm not gay, I'm not a lesbian, I'm definitely not bisexual, but I'm transgender. So, hence, our community at that point was known as the LGBT community. That's how it was referred to for quite a number of years. Until some people came along and said to themselves, wait just a second, I'm here, I'm queer, I'm not a part of this community. We really are the LGBTQ community. Until some people that weren't quite sure what they were came along and said, wait a second, I'm questioning. I don't really know if I'm gay or lesbian. So maybe our community is the GLBTQ community. Well, since that time, some of the other communities have included intersex, asexual, allies, and pansexual. So I can proudly tell you that I am a member of the GLBTQIAAP community. But if you want my take, it was a whole lot easier when I was a kid and we were all gay and we were happy and we were proud and we were all part of one community. My name is Rob Davis and I'm the publisher of MetroSource magazine. MetroSource has been serving the gay community for the past 25 years, and we'll be celebrating our anniversary at year end. MetroSource comes out 6 times a year. There are 3 editions of our magazine. We do one for New York, one for Los Angeles, and we have a national edition that goes out in the rest of the country. It's targeted more towards gay professionals, but it's really information, resources, travel, art, fashion, that's of interest to our entire community. If we're covering entertainment, we might be looking at Lady Gaga or Cher. We might be looking at extraordinary books to read. We could be seeking out the greatest travel destinations, and we cover health like no other publication. All of this is on a national level, but locally we have information and we have resources for our community. Members of our community, they like to patronize the businesses that support them and where you're open and able to be yourself. If I'm looking for a realtor, I want to find someone when I'm out looking for a home where I can go out with my partner, not have to worry and explain who I am, what we're looking for. I want to be able to be myself. If I'm looking for a doctor, I want to be able to talk about my specific health needs that may be very unique to me and other people in our community. And I like the fact that people, whether they're gay themselves or not, want to support our community. And I think that that's really what it's all about. Our first section, as I said, is national in content. We provide local resources for our local markets, and they're the two largest consumer markets in the United States, New York and Los Angeles. Now, to give you a little bit of background, I grew up in Denver, Colorado. Denver is in the Rocky Mountains. It's a medium-sized city. Currently, it's about 2 million people in the metropolitan area, but when I was growing up, 500, maybe as many as 700,000 people grew up in the area. It was a little big city. And during high school, I got a job after school working in a little gourmet cheese shop. And we would sell sandwiches, we would sell gourmet items, and a few doors down, there was a hair salon. And the guys from the hair salon would come in to get sandwiches for their lunch, for their dinner. And they were very flamboyant. And I felt very threatened by them because I knew that I was attracted to men, but I didn't think I was like them. How could I be one of those people? And the reality is that there really weren't there weren't role models when I was growing up. At least not gay role models. Sure, there were role models to be cool. I mean, in the 80s, John Travolta was a great role model. Madonna came along. She was a role model for some. There were great family role models, but nobody that ever said, look at me, I'm just a regular person, and I'm gay. I never heard that from anybody. Well, a lot has changed, and in 10 or 15 years after I came out, people started to admit that they were gay. Entertainers, athletes, people in the media and the public, and even to this day, people are constantly coming out, and they're able to tell the youth of today that it's okay to be gay. Well, after I came out of the closet, I went to work for the Whirlpool Corporation. Whirlpool makes washers and dryers, appliances, and there was another guy at my work that was also gay, but neither of us were about to tell our other coworkers or our bosses that we were gay because honestly we felt that it would hinder our careers. It just wouldn't be a good move. I think many people have felt this way. I worked for a couple of years and I wasn't feeling overly satisfied, and I decided to go back to graduate school and get a master's degree. And after that degree, I said, you know what, I want to move to New York City because New York is the center of the universe. It's where people can go, demonstrate who they are with openness and fairness. New York is a melting pot of all kinds of people and cultures, and certainly they're going to be free of bias, and I'll be able to be who I am in a city like New York, and I think it'll be a great place to start my career. I went to work for a large international bank, and within a few days on the job, I overheard two guys cracking gay jokes, and I'm thinking, what? Here I am, I've come all the way from small Denver to New York City, and seems to me like they're just about as closed-minded as some people that I would even hear from back home. And I realized after working in a bank trading room for about a year that career really was not something that I was interested in pursuing. And I just started to think, what can I do as a gay man living in New York City for a career? I knew that there were lots of gay bars around. There were a few restaurants where gay people went, but there really wasn't a lot of resources as to what to find that's going on, what events are happening, and who supported people like myself, who supported the gay community. Most publications in the day were either political or sexual in nature, sex publications. And I thought it was time to start something that I could identify with. I've been asked to tell you a little bit about MetroSource and to elaborate on the numbers of distribution, demographics, and reader habits. So at MetroSource, we print 130,000 copies, and we distribute those copies across the country. The median household income of our reader is $99,800 a year. That compares in the United States with an average median household income of $51,000 a year. So it's a very desirable audience for marketers, particularly of more higher-end luxury goods, to reach. But as a publication, again, we serve the entire community. And there are many people that want to make a statement that they support our audience and our community. And I think more and more we see that each day. Our readers are loyal. A recent survey showed that 62% of our readers read the last 3 out of 4 issues. Our median age is 40. We're a young 40. I myself am a few years older than 40. And when I finished college, I didn't get married and settle down and have kids, but I moved to New York City. I wanted to go out, I wanted to meet people, and I wanted to socialize. And I did that in gay bars and restaurants and events. And so later on, as a 40-year-old, I socialized within our community, and that got me out, where maybe some of my heterosexual straight counterparts might have gotten married, settled down, and had families. It wasn't all that easy in the beginning when I started the magazine, but after 25 years, more and more diversity has been accepted and celebrated. I remember 25 years ago, I would walk into an ad agency to discuss our magazine with a potential advertiser, and the look on people's faces sometimes were like they saw a ghost. They wouldn't ask a lot of questions. Are these people social deviants? Who are these gay people? Now it's quite common to walk into many ad agencies, and people are very familiar with the topic of gay publications. They're used to it, and it's not quite so overwhelming as I think it once was. When I was starting our magazine in 1989, I interviewed a number of printers to print the magazine on a contractual basis. And most of these printers were in rural areas. They weren't set up in New York City to print something as large as our publication. And I found a printer in rural Pennsylvania. That's out in the country, in a very blue-collar area. And our sales rep from that printer was based in New York City. He lived in New York. I was ready to give him the business after looking at about 5 or 6 other printers in the area. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody was going to be okay with the magazine when we printed it on their manufacturing facility, and that we wouldn't have any problems. And he checked with his people. He got back to me. He said, "Rob, it's not going to be a problem." Well, we had been working on the production of our very first issue for, it was well in excess of 6 months. And as we were wrapping up, successfully put our first issue together. It was time to send our materials down to the printer to have them printed. And the very first item that we sent down was the cover of MetroSource's very first issue. And if you can see right here, this is a copy of the very first issue of MetroSource. Two guys eating at a restaurant, and there's one small word on the cover. Right under the logo MetroSource, it says the Gay Guide to the Metropolitan Area. That is the only piece of material that this printer had received, with the exception of our absolute ad on our back cover. I promptly got a telephone call the next day saying, "I'm sorry, we can't print your magazine. We have customers that will be offended. We have religious publications that we print, and we're not going to be able to print MetroSource." We had a book to get out. I had a reputation. I had promised that there was going to be a launch of our publication to the gay community. And I got my attorneys on the phone. They had a chat with people at the plant who decided to print the issue and get it to us within the 2 weeks as promised. And after that, they said that they would respectfully wish to pass on printing future issues of the magazine. And my sales rep was very disappointed. He steered me in the direction of another printer located in northern New England who printed our magazine for the next 6 or 7 years, and we were treated with respect without a problem. But after 6 or 7 years of printing MetroSource, this was a smaller printer, and we had outgrown them. They weren't equipped to handle our circulation, the number of copies that we were printing, because we were growing. And we put our magazine out to bid and asked printers to give us a price to print our magazine moving forward. And lo and behold, one of the companies that asked us if they could bid on our publication was the same printer that turned us down 7 years earlier. And I really had to think long and hard if I wanted to give them our business. Many people would have said, no, based on past experience, I wouldn't give you our business. But I thought, hey, this is an opportunity to open up the eyes of people in a rural area that chances are have not been exposed to gay people in the past. And they had the absolute best quality for the most affordable price, and I made the decision to go to this printer. It was a great decision. We printed with them for another 7 or 8 years until we were ready to make another move. They treated us with the utmost of respect, and I think that we did a good thing by helping to open up eyes of people who might not be so open-minded had they not been exposed to MetroSource. We've made huge inroads and progress over the past 25 years, not only portraying the gay market in a positive light worldwide, but there are still challenges that we face today. And there is still prejudice, and there is still resistance to change. I think it's a matter of time between gay people will be considered the same as everybody else. And I hope that it will happen during my lifetime. As a market, this audience will remain desirable because marketers want to reach this high-earning demographic. And the fundamentals are present for an audience of consumers that earn more than the average. As a community, companies want to support us, and today we want to support those companies as well. I have a message to the Tokyo audience because in 2020, as you know, the Olympics are going to be coming to Japan. And there are going to be many gay athletes coming to Japan, as well as tourists also coming to your fair city. This is an opportunity for Tokyo to create change and to welcome our community with open arms, both the athletes and spectators. I think that Vladimir Putin made a series of blunders before all of the crisis and turmoil in Ukraine. He came out attacking the gay community, and he put athletes on notice that we are not welcome in Russia. I think he missed the point on what the Olympics are all about. Not only is it a fantastic marketing opportunity to reach out to the world, but I think the Olympics are about people from all over the world coming together, celebrating their differences and their likenesses, and coming together to share a common goal to be the best that we can do. I think Japan has a terrific opportunity to welcome the athletes and spectators alike. In summary, I chose to start a magazine for the gay community 25 years ago because little existed in the day that could connect people. And today, there's all kinds of ways that we connect with each other, be it the internet, through social media. There's all sorts of resources available to us. Times have changed. We celebrate our differences. We sought to show the world what the gay community could be, and now we're showing the world what we are. Thank you.